One mother is tonight distraught after the morgue at the Karl Heusner Memorial Hospital allegedly handed over her deceased neonate to the wrong funeral home for cremation. Naomi Guerrero lost her newborn son Aaron Allen on Saturday night, only a day after giving birth to him. Today, only hours before he was scheduled to be laid to rest, she learned that her baby had been handed over to another family for cremation.
I came this afternoon because my common-law was at the cemetery doing the tomb. He was finishing up the tomb. And when he was at the tomb at about 11:20 this morning, Jenkins Funeral Home called him to let him know that they came to dress the baby and put him in the coffin. But the baby wasn't here. That another funeral home had already came and picked up that body. That body wasn't here. So that's when I came personally to K.H.M.H morgue to come and find out more information about what had happened, where's my baby, and what they did with him. How is it possible they were confused? What baby will have a tag? Funny, like he got one name. How they were loser? How they were give one other funeral home? What baby where they never supposed to even cremate? They came and told us that they're sorry, but they had mistakenly given my baby to Koi's funeral home to cremate. And at that moment, my world just fell apart because my baby never deserved that. I never want that. At no moment I give them permission to do that. And how they were confused my baby, I just cremated. And they don't want to be responsible or accept that they did wrong.
So, the body of Guerrero's child was given to the wrong funeral home and ultimately the wrong family. But Guerrero says her troubles at the hospital did not start there. She says she was rushed to the hospital on Thursday after she began bleeding profusely while 34 weeks pregnant.
The front desk lady at the emergency told me that why I never came the Wednesday night due that I done with the bleed, that no, it's not an emergency because I'm not bleeding at the moment. I told her, yes, I just bled this morning and that's the reason for me to come here again. And then she said, but you're not bleeding at the moment, so it's not an emergency anymore. It's my negligence. I told her it was just a dash the Wednesday night, that this morning it was more. And she said, well, it's not an emergency, Mom. And I told her, I would just like for you guys to do me an ultrasound to see if my baby's okay. She said, I won't get any ultrasound because it's not an emergency anymore because I'm not bleeding at the moment. And they told me the only way I would get my ultrasound if I would pay for it right away. And thank God I had a little money upon me, and I gave them a $40 due in advance to the ultrasound so they could do me the ultrasound, and they took like 20 minutes to let me in.
The conclusion of the ultrasound was alarming for Guerrero as she recounts. She says that due to the results, she needed an emergency C-section.
The third conclusion was erythroplacenta hematoma that I had. And I searched it up on Google right away, what is a hematoma and everything. And the first thing that pop up on Google is that you need a C-section right away. But they didn't give me any C-section at the way. They just admit me and had the baby where part they keep the heart rate on my belly, and they just made me keep track of the baby heart rate while I was admitted. So until the morning, 8 o'clock, the Friday morning, they said that they would do the C-section. And my baby, I had the C-section. My baby was born at 9:30 something, and I was under complete anesthesia, so I couldn't even hear my baby first laugh or anything.
Little Aaron passed away a day later inside the intensive care unit. The major question being asked here is, how did this mix-up occur? Was there not a verification process in place to ensure that the right body was being given to the right family?
The question was if at any moment, how many funerals home we give the certificate to, the death certificate to. And we told them right away, only Jenkins. We never deal with no other funeral homes, only Jenkins, and Jenkins was the one to inform us that when they came to dress the baby wasn't here. And they had already cremated the baby. I know, I just ask for justice. Make the hospital stop being so negligent. I know what I want, that no fear. I have a C-section, I got cut. I in a pain physically, emotionally. For me to come and give me more pain like that, it's not fair.
There were only 6 copies of that death certificate. The original and 5 copies, actually, which were handed in a folder to the family. So the family have stated they hired Mr. Jenkins' funeral home, no other funeral home. And a copy of that certificate was left at that funeral home. That's one. Another copy was left at the place where you pay for the space, the land where you're going to bury your loved one. That's 2, right? That leaves 3 and the original. K.H.M.H clerk is claiming that they have one which was brought in when the body of the baby was given. The family asked to see it, they cannot produce it because there is none. Because the family has in their possession the original and the 3 remaining copies of those death certificates, right? I'm telling you from someone who used to work there, no one can come to this morgue and walk out with a body without a death certificate being presented and that being processed by the clerk. I will confirm that the family has confirmed that they did not seek the services of Koyi's Funeral Home. Koyi's Funeral Home has confirmed that they were never contacted by this family and they were not hired to deal with this baby. And the family has retained counsel, which is Nazira Miles, attorney Nazira Miles, and they are going to seek a lawsuit against the Karl Heusner Memorial Hospital.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.